Hi. It's been a while. I think maybe honestly like 2 weeks. Um yeah, I think 2 weeks since I last made a video. Turned my couch around because I had a party yesterday. 6 people showed up. I am not Mrs. Popular, despite people telling me, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Um, yeah, I didn't really feel the need to make a video in the last couple of weeks. Also, I went through it. I kind of hit rock bottom, and I was absolutely spiraling. Like my thoughts sometimes just get stuck in like this end death march stuff. Um, so I didn't really want to make a video. I have not been in the death march anymore. Like my brain has not been a self-detonating bomb. Um, but sometimes it terrifies me how quickly my brain can go to that, which I guess is also a thing of chronic depression. Oh my god, yeah. Like half the time I keep on forgetting that I actually have these mental illnesses and they do actually have quite a big impact on how I need to live my life and like how I'm living my life. Um, so what took me out of this death march was oh my god, speaking to him, and also speaking to the student counselor. And right now I'm hesitant right now because I'm so scared that with anything I do, my brain will get back into the death march. Um, and I guess that's how anxiety is born. So yeah, that's fun. There's chips here. I want to make a video today because it is May 17th today, which is exactly 6 months after we broke up. So I've been 6 months single now. Um, Yay, it's been weird. Um, like today also I didn't really sleep that well because I had a party. So I think like my derealization is also a bit worse. But especially the part that affects my emotions. No, wrong word. My face is a little bit scrambled as well. Especially the part that affects my memories. Because I've realized that when I'm very derealized, when I'm in like those periods, I have such harder grip on memories and just real life and stuff. Like it all and like dreams, they all kind of start blending in together. And I still know when it's a difference, like when it's when I'm actually here, when it's a memory and when it's a dream. Sometimes dreams and memories are the same, and through that I cannot think. And it's also that like my memories, it's I forget more. Um, and it's more in the sense of factually, I know that I'm single. I know that he's not my boyfriend anymore. And also feelings wise, well, he's not been around here in so long. But still, somewhere part of me is like, yeah, we're together. Um, and it's really strange. And I think this is, well, I do not know if this is like a one time thing or this also happened with my previous breakup. Because then we went back and forth a couple of times and also we were friends. And we're still friends. So it's, I still have a part of him, of like my previous ex. Um, and I think for the longest while I was like, yeah, I have like a little bit more of him because I knew him better. And now everybody feels very equal because obviously we've not dated in the last like 2 years. What the fuck? I don't think it's my neighbor. I hope they don't hear me talking. I hope you hear that, otherwise it will be really, really funny. Um, but yeah, it's hard to kind of accept everything. And it's just that I'm tired today. I'm like more to realize that it's harder to get a grasp on everything, and it's also weird because now it's like a time frame moment. It's been like, yeah, it's been 6 months. That's a really long time, but it just doesn't feel as long. At least for me, probably for him it does, but for me it doesn't, because obviously like I was in England, and then I came back, and for the past like 4 months, like I've been back just as long as I was in England, and I've been going through it like so much. Like I've done all these things, and I'm just like, what? Like I know that in a year I will be looking back on this semester. I'm like, what was I actually doing? A majority of it is just spent trying to distract myself, trying to make myself be okay. So yeah, like it's almost the end of the semester, and I'm at the point where I kind of know that I will not finish all of my classes, which means that I will also graduate later, like even later, as I actually already am. Which I'm crying again. Um, it's the first time that I'm like crying over this, over the decision, because I just I want to be normal. I want to be good at school. I wanted to have high grades, and I want to be good at school, and I want to learn, and I love learning. Um, but it's just I can't. It just doesn't work for me. And I have my classmates who are doing their graduation thesis and stuff, and I'm just so out of it. I'm just so out of it. And it's weird to think about that technically I was supposed to be graduating this July. Like, I was supposed to be done. um, and I already knew in my second year that I was gonna graduate half a year later. So that's what I've accepted. And I think back then I also was like, I wish my study was like 5 years. And then my therapist was like, well, you can just do that. And I was like, oh yeah. And it was still a scary decision, but I was like, it's fine, it's half a year. But now I think I will need to graduate like in a year and a half, which is terrifying. It's not even terrifying. I'm just scared of people's reaction. I just wish that I didn't need to graduate later. I just wish that my brain was okay and I had a better grasp of like being here. And like, I feel so stupid all of the time. I feel so dumb. And it's just like I compare myself, I think, a little bit too much to other people. And I constantly need to remind myself, like, hey, it's gonna be a lot harder for you. Because you're diagnosed with like at least 2 mental illnesses. And you probably have ADD that you're not diagnosed with. Currently, you're also dealing with like insomnia and stuff. And also, like, you're chronically stressed. Like, I had a panic attack last year because I needed to do a resit and I was with a group and it was just not working. And they were getting mad at me and I had like the biggest panic attack ever of my life. And it's terrifying. And on Friday I did some work. And like looking at it, I just got so anxious. Because, well, it was a group work, but I just got so anxious. I was like, this is not normal. This is not normal. Like, you went to therapy, you did all the things. And you're still so anxious. You're so burned out. Like, I'm really excited to have a semester off. Because I think I really need that. I need to bore myself to death. Um, and like, I just want to do nothing. Because currently I've been already doing it this semester, just barely anything. Because I've been just going through it with my emotions. And like last year in the summer, I had the longest summer break, I think, of my life. Because it was from like 1st of July till like the end of October. Or like, well, September 19 or something. So it was like 2.5 months. And I think, yeah, from like 1st of July till 1st of October, then I didn't have any classes, basically. And I still need to do things. I still need to organize a lot of things, but it wasn't for school. So then by the time it was like halfway through September, I was like, I'm ready to learn. Like, I want to do something again. Like, I want to do school things again. Little did I know that would burn me out. Just that made me plummet. It just sucks because I don't want to be the mentally ill girl. I don't want to be the mentally ill kid. Would a mentally ill person look like this? Like, it's so hard sometimes to take myself seriously. Because I look so pretty. I take so good care of my appearance. And like, because that makes me feel good. If I look like shit, I would hate it. But I also just... I've always been like this. I've always been mentally ill. Like, my entire teens are shaped by that. And like, I plummeted this semester. So I don't think, I should be kind to myself. So I should just graduate late. Which, oh my god, let's call back to my ex. I think we'll have the same graduation then, which will be weird. But it'll be in a year and a half. So hopefully I won't have seen him for a year and a half, and I'll be over him. Please. It might be awkward, because if his parents do actually show up for that, my parents will be there. Because our parents are meeting. Fun. It's also like somber, because like for this entire semester, I've been struggling between, am I doing this for myself or am I doing this for him? Like, am I doing this to like grab his attention or something? But also, the anxiety is not for him. Like, all of these things are not for him. I wanted to study so badly. Like, other people are like, yeah, you can study through your heartbreak. Like, I can't. My emotions just take me over. And it's also like, it's different, because like 3 years ago, I also absolutely went through it and it was like one of my worst periods of my life, and I really I wanted to die, and I told people that actually, and then they were like, oh, but like, you should live for me, and I was like, no, I'm living for myself. And like, I don't want to die. But that was like the worst period of my life. So also actually 4 days ago, I've not harmed myself by like cutting myself in 3 years, and I came close to it, or like I was absolutely thinking about it, but then I was like, it's 3 years, cannot do that. So I'm yeah, yay for me. But also like last weekend I was at my parents and I thought it would make it better, but then everybody already started asking me way too early, how is school going? And so I lied to everybody. I was like, oh, it's going good, graduating in half a year. Yeah, I need to find an internship. And then I didn't get my mom a Mother's Day present because I was just so caught up in everything. And then I spent the entire day anxiously waiting in my room while crying. I'm just watching TikToks. I didn't pick up my... And I'm so scared of them just picking up. also crying a lot about my relationship with my parents. I think I'll forever cry about that. And like, I love my friends, and that's when I'm the happiest. Like today, I went out to the market, bought some paprika and avocado, and we had some coffee with my friends. It was really nice, and we sat in the sun. And yeah, yesterday at a party, but a lot of people showed up, so it made me insecure. Yeah, I also talked to my ex last week, actually. Just one-on-one, which is rare. We have not done that since the end of February, and that was on purpose. This one wasn't on purpose. And I still don't really know what to do around him. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to act. I don't know. But we went to a different city for school, and it was voluntarily, just like a school thing, but like voluntarily. So also only 5 or 6 students stood up. Surprisingly, both of us, which is the funniest thing, because neither of us handed in the first deadline thing. I need to reset that, which, mind you, I'm not gonna make. Sadly, but that's fine. And if I think about school, I'm becoming anxious. But yeah, I was walking to the station way too early, because that's just what I do, and also I wanted to get coffee. And then he biked past me, and at first, and like he was biking so fucking fast, I think his steering wheel looked a little bit different, so maybe I got a different bike. But he like biked past, and in my head I was like, I think that's him. It doesn't like how he biked and stuff. It didn't seem like him, but his appearance, I didn't even see his fucking face. It was behind. I was like, I'm sure that's him. And then in my head was like, which shirt is that? Which I saw from the back, by the way, only the color. And I was like, oh yeah, it's like this Hot Wheels shirt that I bought for him when I was in Spain, which is also funny. And this is also the first time that I've seen him wear a shirt that I bought for him. It's a good shirt. But yeah, and then they were like escalated, like we need to go downstairs for our station, to go to the platforms. And I was walking closer to the thing, and then he just went down the escalator, and like he looked behind, like towards me. I didn't do anything, because I also was like, oh, that is him, okay. And he didn't do anything. And then like when I went down the escalator, I saw him put money in his card, because that's also what he always needs to do. Just always. Then I got my coffee, and then he went onto a different platform, because he didn't plan when to take the train. He just was, he told me later that he just biked to the train station and just saw which train he was going to take, and I planned it, of course. I also told him that, like, of course I planned it. That's like the biggest difference between us. So I walked to, the train that like I wanted to take, even though I was on time for the one that he wanted to take. And then I think he was looking for me, because like I walked up the platform. I was also looking for him, not gonna lie. I think like I took the stairs, because I remembered that usually he takes the stairs. And so came up there, was looking around, didn't see him, and I was like, okay, alright. Looked up, saw him right across from the platform. So then, and like he saw me, and he was walking towards the stairs there, and then like I waved, and he waved, and then he went down the stairs, and I was like, is he gonna come here now? I'm just gonna like look at my phone and like guess like what if he, and then he did. And then we talked, actually. And also, mind you, out of like the 6 students that were there, we're the only ones who took that train. So it really was like, oh, what if somebody else is gonna show up? I really hope that won't happen. And so, yeah, we sat in a like, also mind you, we're still like 10 minutes early for the train. So then we were just like chatting, we were just talking about our dads, and we are like, yeah, it's so easy to win arguments with them, but like they never admit it. Um, and like he told me that he was sleeping bad, and I was like, oh yeah, same. I was like, I've been liking coffee, and I was like, oh good. Um, and then we sat in the train, and I didn't know what he was gonna do, but like because we've taken the train before, because I live on the other side of the country from my parents. So we went to my parents like I think a couple of times, and then obviously we've taken the train together, and then I would always be the one going in first, picking up a seat, like sitting next to the window. I love sitting next to the window. So that's also what we did now. But I sat in like an empty four seat because I was like, I don't know if he wants to sit next to me or like in front of me, or if he, we'll see. And then he sat next to me, and I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. Usually me and my friends like sit across from each other so we can actually see each other when we are talking. Um, but he sat next to me. We didn't touch, obviously. That's so weird. Okay, sorry. I'm just thinking about like, but yeah, then we just sat and we talked about a bunch of things, about like vacation and what we're gonna do, and he talked that he went like Hungary recently, which I know because I stalked him, but I didn't tell him that. I told him that my bike is still broken, and like we talked about our jobs, just like kind of catching up with each other, talking about random things. But yeah, it was nice. It was chill. And I think I saw a hickey at that point in his neck, and I was like, kill myself. Um, I left better hickeys. To be fair, I bit him. He liked it. But there were like, it was like a rat. So yeah, I left better hickeys. Or he hasn't. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna think about it. It makes me want to throw up. But yeah, 20 minute train ride. Very nice. Or just chill. Also, it was even delayed. And then we arrived at the station. Then his friend was actually there, or a classmate. Which in my head also was like, God, last time I spoke to him was when we were dating. What the fuck is he gonna think? And I was like, hi. And I was like, oh, how are you? Like, good. And we just like walked in the thing, and we like chatted a little bit. With just like the three of us. It wasn't even that awkward. I'm just wondering what he was thinking, like when he saw me, like him walking and being like, oh, okay. And then yeah, we need to meet at his office. And then that friend, like, and this was the converse table, and like that friend, he went to the other side of the table. So I was like, okay, is like my ex gonna follow him? Because like they're friends. They have been friends for like years. Well, ever since they moved there. And then like I couldn't really go to the other side of the table. I kind of wanted to, but there were like people standing, so I was like, all right, I'll just sit down. My ex was also still standing. He didn't sit down until I sat down. So I'm like, did he just want to sit next to me? Like, what? Maybe he just didn't want to look at me. But it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. Anyways, yet again, 6 students were there. So then we walked around, and I walked close to him because also he was he's the only person that I knew, like I talked to. There was one person I've never knew, and then the other, well, one is in my group, but he talks so quietly that like I have no idea. So yeah, kind of trailed around him a little bit at the back of the group. Then because we were walking outside, and we did group activities. But also, by the way, the group activity was being in a wheelchair or being blind. We like switched group. We weren't in the same group of that, which is fine. Because And that was also, by the way, really, really interesting. Really insightful. But then, yeah, like, he actually, wait. So I was like the blind for like really long. And like he was then in a wheelchair, and he actually stayed in the wheelchair for like the entire time. Like once we're done like exploring it in the city center, we walked back to the office, and he was the entire time in a wheelchair. So at some point he went off a ramp, and which was like really really steep. And we looked at each other and we like smiled, or we were smiling and looking at each other. And there's basically a picture of that. Kill me. And yeah, my brain is still all over the place. Then yeah, eventually at some point, I think I was walking next to him again, and like I don't know, we were like talking a bit, and then he also said that he remarked that I was blind for quite a while, and I was like, yeah, that's true. And now, like later, I processed like, oh, that means that he looked at me. That means that he processed. He paid attention to me. Girl, we live together. Obviously, we're gonna pay attention. Okay, whatever. But yeah, then we're done. Teachers were gone. He noticed the hickey in my teacher's neck. And then I was like, fucking finally, I wanted to tell you this tea about our teacher since the moment I heard it. But I couldn't. Because the only class that we share together is of her, so I cannot just be next to her and be like, hey, so actually I have tea about the teacher. Yeah, she's right there. Yeah, she's a really private person. So that was really fun. Anyways, then we managed, well, okay, I did that hop on purpose. So then we needed to take the train, and like our train went like every 10-15 minutes, and we just missed like one. And then his friend needed to go to a city further. So we could have taken the same train if we waited 20 minutes instead of 10. But he was like, yeah, let's like take the earliest one, and then so I was like I was the one looking up the trains, obviously, as I do. So then I purposely picked out the one that did, like, well, not even that purposely, but I didn't mention that we could just wait and like be together with his friend as well. Because I knew that I wanted to ask him how his relationship was going. Because in my head I was like, I need to break my own heart. I need to break my heart to move on. Like I cannot just unfollow him on social media. I need to know that he doesn't like me anymore. So then, yet again, sat in the train. This time it was like a 2-seater. He immediately sat next to me. We talked like a little bit, being like, oh, that's interesting. And then I was nervous. So then I was towards the end of the train trip. Well, this time it was like 15 minutes. I was like, so how's your relationship going? And I was like, good, actually. Yeah, it's different because I'm a lot more confident now than last year. And I was like, well, in my head, later, once I processed what he was saying, I was like, great. Why couldn't you be that when we were together? Like, what's the point? So whenever I think about that, I become angry again. Very, very much so. But then I also was like, okay, cool. Yay, good for you. And then he actually asked me if I'm seeing somebody, and he mentioned like, yeah, I had like you met somebody in England, right? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not seeing anyone. I did hook up with a couple of people after we broke up, but I friend-zoned everybody in the beginning of March. I wanted to point out specifically in the beginning of March, because at the end of March, I did send him a voice message of like 20 minutes long. So I did want to let him know that I didn't send that voice message when I was seeing somebody else. And I also just wanted him to know that I'm not seeing anybody right now. I'm still single. And then I also told him like, yeah, it take a long time to get over anything. And then I was like, okay. And then I said, so I am actually gonna unfollow you from some social media now. And then he was like, okay. He just said, okay. Which I'm not sure if you'll realize the reasoning behind it, but if you ever somehow magically see that, the reasoning is because I cannot get over you, and I'm quite done with that. You know, it was quite nice yesterday before the party to not have to worry about you and not to beg you to be there. Was I that happy during the party? No, but it doesn't matter, okay? That's just... yeah. Life goes on. So that was my whole interaction. Also, that did kind of make me want to cry. And then when I was like, okay, yeah, he doesn't like me, or like not like he's not in love with me anymore. Like he's over me. And yeah, then the train station was like, okay, well, see you in class. See you. And then I need to walk to school because I had a meeting with the student council, which I cancelled, by the way. And then I was crying to the way to school. It was just so sad. Yeah. And then I had like an hour to kill, but like when I arrived at school and like when I had that meeting. So then I already started following him on some social media, like freaking Steam, Pinterest, because I keep on stalking him on that. And but then my bestie from high school, she moved here to the city, and she was like, I saw that you were back on Life 360. You wanna hang out in the city? And then I was like, actually, my meeting just cancelled. And like I got the text that my meeting was cancelled or like moved to the next day. So then I was like, yes, please. I'm crying because I immediately texted my besties being like, I'm sad right now. He's over me. I'm gonna delete him off social media. But then the second I saw my bestie, I cannot really cry in front of other people. And then we did retail therapy, and then I bought a disco ball. A disco ball and silver jewelry. I still cannot take the top one out, so I cannot even use the silver jewelry yet. It's hilarious. But yeah, retail therapy. And then honestly, I felt fine, but also that's because my, like right before that, like the weekend before I had that conversation, because that was on a Monday, so literally the day before, and the day before, my brain was like a self-detonating bomb. It was like in the end death march. So then I was like, you know what, I feel fine, but it was just because like my thoughts were not spiraling. I've been in the same like kind of okay state for the entire week, because that happened actually on Monday. It has not been a week yet. Yay. That's so weird. Yeah, and then I had a meeting with the student counselor the next day where I was honestly terrified. And then I was just kind of half crying there. I didn't actually cry. Maybe I should start crying in those meetings. But then I was like, yeah, I have no idea how I'm gonna make it. And she was like, yeah, but like, what if you just put yourself to it? And then things I was like, yeah, but like, I don't think I'm actually gonna make it. And then she was like, so like, what, like, do you think about maybe like dropping some classes and having it next year? And I was like, well, I did actually think about that already. And then we thought about that. So now I have a meeting in a week or so to truly think about, like to fully confirm the decision. But considering the fact that I have not done anything for school yet, and the only thing that I did for school, I immediately got a lot of anxiety. I did do it, but it took me quite long and a lot of anxiety. I guess I'm graduating later. But I have been thinking about things to do in my half a year off. So that's been nice. I just need to tell my mom, and that's terrifying. Yeah, it's weird. It's also weird to think about because like it's been half a year since the breakup, and this day is only significant because there was a breakup. Because like if it didn't break up, this day would have been any other day. I don't know if I would have gone to the market or anything, but yeah. You know, I'm excited to meet other people as well. And I think like right now I'm at the point where probably if I meet somebody that I really connect well with and I really like spending my time with, I could just heal while being in a relationship. But before this, absolutely not, because I was just not over him. And now I'm slowly, going to that again. I think also in the past couple, like, because at first like I was angry right after breaking up. It's funny because like I was angry since I was like, why can he not get his shit together? And then I thought, oh, and I think in the last couple of weeks, I thought, oh, he doesn't have his shit together because he's been listening to this one specific playlist. Like, oh, maybe he's not as happy, but he's still doing a lot better than he was with me, and that sucks. And honestly, fuck him for that. Also, the fact that, like, obviously, like living through a moment, time, 2.5 months sounds a lot shorter than like actually living through that, but it was less than a month that he started talking to his now girlfriend. And it sucks. It sucks so much. Because I thought that like this breakup would absolutely destroy him. And I'm not saying that I wanted to. It would show that he cared a bit more about me. And I'm just like, I think both of us said some things, but especially him said some things like that can almost doom the relationship. And it's like we could probably make it, but it's also my mental health was so fragile. Because I don't know, like sometimes, like he would say, like, yeah, I sleep really badly if I don't sleep with you. So then, like, I felt that pressure on me, and also the pressure of he won't break up with me, but like, because he literally told me that he wouldn't break up with me, it would be me. Terrible thing to say to somebody who's always leaving. Um, so those are kind of like things that would doom us. Yeah. It's been a very, very long call, but I guess that happens. Not call, video. I guess that happens when you haven't done that in a really long while. Um, yeah, it's strange. So many thoughts, so many things. It truly just doesn't help that my mental health has been so bad. It's been so bad for ever since like August, like mid-August. It's been just really, really bad, and it's no way that I can pinpoint or like I can blame it on one thing because it's truly just a catalyst of thing. It's just truly really unfortunate timing of all of these events. Like, yeah, sometimes I had an influence about that, but it's truly just like my dog dying, immediately going on vacation, um, seeing somebody there that I could like project my like kind of fantasies on, like, because it's a friend, but then she didn't really talk much. So me being like, oh my god, what if literally a person I had like a crush on, like almost 3 years ago now, um, and having 1 month in between my vacation and me going to England, where I needed to set my boundaries of like, hey, I need to have more alone time. Like we need to develop each other ourselves more alone. I think we were doomed since then. If I didn't go to England, that's the whole thing. Because we only had like 1 month, and like at the end of the month, I was like, yeah, everything is going fine again. But I also need to go to my parents, and like I couldn't be there constantly with him, and he was also upset about it. Then I went to England. It was so fucking overwhelming. And then like the breakup, and then I was still in England, and I started hating it more and more, and just like I had no energy for anything, and I was treating myself so badly. I'm sometimes still amazed at it. Like I have not drank Monster Energy since I was in England. Um, looked for it in the store, but they didn't have the one that I drank. But like, I wanted to pick up cigarettes. I genuinely was so close to buying cigarettes. I was starving myself. I like food. It was terrible. It was so lonely. It was so overwhelming. Like, yeah, okay, it's a cool experience. Like, sometimes really, really nice. But even like half the time when I would be drinking with people and like socializing outside of class, I would come home and I would just be kind of like, not that happy. And this was like the first time. The first time I wasn't that happy while drinking was literally in England. Maybe it was also, I think, in France. But it was definitely in England that I would come home and it would be like truly just sad. Just full on sad. So there wasn't a lot of times in England where I was drinking and I was happy. And then I come home and the guy that you loved the most, shared your entire life with, laughed the longest, has a new girlfriend. And you're sharing a class together. And like all of your classmates are his friends and you have no idea how to act. And also everything is so stressful because you're just completely burned out from school and everything. Just want to play The Sims. I have work tomorrow. Ugh. And I have a movie. Ugh. Well, it's fun. It's with like high school bestie. Also, we've seen each other so much lately already. And like, she doesn't have school. I'm getting stressed about things. At least tomorrow at work, it'll be busy because it's a Sunday. There's also a masquerade party on Thursday, which is, it's a party, it's not a ball, it's not a gala, but the last time they had a masquerade gala was 2.5 years ago, November 17th, 2022. And it was the day that me and my ex met for the first time. And we always said like, oh, if there's another masquerade party, we'll go together. And now, exactly half a year after we broke up, there's another one. We do actually share a class together that day, and like it's the one class that we actually talk together with, which also there's only 2 of them left. I don't really want to think about the fact that these are probably the last 2 times I'm going to talk to him for a long, long while. I hate losing people. But I'm going to mention that, and then he's like, oh, cool. I'm not going to go. I'm like, yeah, I figure. Because it's a party. He doesn't drink anymore. And I was like, yeah, I am going to go. I guess if he didn't like his now girlfriend as much, he could be like dramatically showing up. Like, oh my god. I'll just have a fun time. Maybe I'll meet somebody again. Who knows? I'll be alright. At least, honestly, I feel like I look this the best I've ever looked. Which I also want to like cut my hair and go to the hairdressers. So probably eventually I'll look at these videos and be like, wow, my hair is so dead. Who let me walk around like this? But yeah, currently I do like how I look. So that's a plus point. So the breakup just made me hotter. Yeah. Okay, I desperately need to shower now. I really wanted to do that 45 minutes ago. But I didn't, because I was like, well, I do actually want to record a video for the 6 months check up. And I don't want to do it with wet hair, because I look better when it's not wet. Yeah, I did think about that, actually. I do think a lot about my appearance. I can't wait for summer break. Also, June is gonna be such a busy month. Can't wait for July. Hopefully I'm happy by my birthday, which is in 2 months. Guess we'll see. We'll be alright, you know. I got my girls. I got me. I'll make a beautiful life for myself. With or without man. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, bye bye.